Okay. Yeah. Tonight we've organized ContraDiction. It's the second ContraDiction. That's why you might see, it labeled as ContraDiction number 2 in our lovely program, designed by the amazingly straight graphic designer Ishwan. Yeah. Okay, but yeah. First of all, thank you. I'd like to thank Mox Bar for allowing us the use of this space tonight. They are not charging us for any rentals, so please do buy drinks from their bar. Okay. I'd also like to thank Dominic, who's the guy smirking over there. Dominic Chua is the main organizer of this event. Besides him and me, Sabrina Cole. Where are you, Sam? Sabrina Cole back there, Yes. So Sabrina Cole, the three of us were the organizers for this event. Although this event is listed as part of the whole integration program, so I would like to thank the organizers of integration itself. We've been going through a lot of weird shit recently because we've been getting strange. Well, the venues have actually been getting strange calls from the police asking to double check their licenses for the events, which is so weird. Thank you, Mox, again. You said you'd help me with this, didn't you? Oh yes, and have I left anyone? Oh yes, thank you all you readers as well. Tonight I believe we have Ruby, Pan, Shana, Javier bin Muhammad, Dong, who's reading in New for Alfian South. We've got Geraldine To, who's unfortunately in Scotland, and we've got Sabrina and Dominic, of course, and I bet I've left someone out.
Not to thank NDA.
Oh yes, I would like to thank the Media Development Authority of Singapore, who were able to give us, a license for this very gay event, while censoring only one poem.
In total, one poem censored.
Yes, a sonnet, no less, by Ko Ji Young, who is right now. Ji Young, yeah, get your ass over here. Yeah, okay. Oh yes, and Cyril is another one of the leaders tonight. And last of all, I'd like to thank all you beautiful people for coming tonight.
Okay, so without further ado, we're going to start with our first reader, and that's Ishang. He doesn't really need an introduction, but suffice to say that he is a great performance poet. Performance poetry, of course, is a very specialized genre of poetry. Involves vigorous body movements, so be forewarned. Please don't be too alarmed, it's just him, in case he's not having an epileptic fit or anything. But he's got 3 poems coming up lined up for us. Adam's Apple, Serenity, and Boogie. Yes, and Boogie. They're wonderful poems, please enjoy.
First of all, are there any deaf people in the house? Okay, because I made a false promise that there would be sign language interpretation tonight, and well, our interpreter is kind of late. But okay, yeah, I'm actually publishing a book of my first book of poems in September at this rate. My publisher told me it would be June, but publishers can be like that. And one of the first the poems which I really wanted to publish, but which he cut, is this first poem, Adam's Apple. Like any child of Eden, I am fascinated by things that protrude. Give me the knob of your throat for a juiceful, crisping mouth mark of Washington crunch. Epiglottis inflamed in man, between esophagus and windpipe. Who granted you the right to separate spoken breath and eating lump? Come with me Dracula-wise as I shudder between the scales of ringing voice. Unsnow white me, maneuver me Heimlich, this gaggle bullet, swallow that breath, then rattle that sword-upon neck like a die, on the tongue together, tooth against taste bud, that I might know, as if for the first time, I'm 6 days old and naked as ever. Where are your hands like that? Oh, the second poem is actually, I'd actually like to put it in, to read it in dedication of that other event that clashes with tonight's event, the Echoes of Transsexuals event that's happening at 7213, because, you know, and well, I'd like to thank all of you for coming here tonight and, instead of hearing the stories of these amazingly brave transgender people whom I've had the fortune to meet. But yeah, because the transgender people are a people with a history in Singapore. As I found out from no less an authority than my own father. I'd like to read this biographical poem called Boogie. My dad spent disco weekends in boogies, drunken and roaring at the crazy queens, at the grey-eyed sailors who paid them court. He even took one once to Shear's Hall, and watched her squeal with delight in the mirrorball sea of hands held firm against her young man's waist. Then horror and laughter on disclosure. Paid $30 once to see a tiger show with a star when stopped at the critical minute. And danced until morning, waiting for a moneyed friend in forbidden parlors who'd treat them all to century egg congee. And he told how free they were, how one let him touch a hand-sewn breast to feel the rock-hard pyramid waiting in the center. One explanation of the last line was that they really didn't have very good boob shops back then. They were actually hard here. And, you know, well, yeah, I'm not sure if you should read the next poem off the page. If anyone's missing those programs, you can get them from the back. Because I've rewritten it. It's called Threnody, which is a Greek word for a morning song. When I was growing up, like, no one told me about, you know, the great gay love stories. You know, like, they didn't have the internet back when we were kids, so, you know, I could only, you know, imagine that someday I'd be rescued by a knight in shining armor. You know, eventually you figure out, sometimes you've got to be that knight and find your own transgender princess. But, yeah, when I started to read up about gay history, I started to find, well, at first I started feeling inspired, but then after a while, the weight of all these names started exerting this kind of pressure on me, like, as a person in the present. I'd like you to share in that pressure by making this an audience participation poem. Okay. Mike, please. Thank you. Yeah. Every time I point, could you go like this? Could you guys say, "Oh, the dead boy's ringing"? And the next time I point like that, you say, "Oh, the dead girl's ringing." No, actually say, "Oh, the dead boy's ringing." Can I hear you say that?
Oh, the dead boy's ringing.
And then when I do that another time?
Oh, the dead girl's ringing.
And then when I do that another time?
Oh, the dead boy's ringing.
Okay, and I do that another time?
Oh, the dead girl's ringing.
Yeah, beautiful and intelligent. Threnody. Oh, the dead boy's ringing, oh, the dead girl's ringing, oh, the dead boy's ringing in the house, oh, the dead girl's ringing, oh, the dead boy's ringing, oh, the dead girls ringing in the house, yeah, they still be singing, yeah, they still be swinging, all the dead girls ringing in the house, yeah, they still be singing from the dark they're getting, all the dead boys ringing in the house. Here we go now. From the ground they rise like gasoline or geyser, steam of flame. Upside down they rise from purgatory, paradise the same. Alcibiades and Socrates, they barely touch your breast. Falling in my arms, Virginia, Mrs. Vita, Sackville West, Annie, Elman, and H.G. Yedrin, scribbled by G.E. With Kabiribin, Margaret, Victor's flip, does a flip for yours and Nar. Make Mary see the spirit sinking high and rising low. Thomas Soda Cavalieri kisses Michael.